This video was shot on location at Jerusalem Mill in Kingsville, Maryland. I see the whole world as my laboratory, and I never stop wondering. I could not drink a cup of tea without wondering why the tea leaves gather in a certain configuration at the bottom of the cup. Perhaps what most astonishes my friends is the breadth of my interest. I have some competence and knowledge in the fields of electricity, meteorology, biology, literature, agriculture, mathematics, philosophy, and politics, as just a partial list. And I am among a very few to have invented a popular musical instrument. I have an insatiable curiosity. And I am convinced that the lives of ordinary men and women can be altered and improved by the intervention of science. But I ramble. And as Poor Richard says, "He who speaks much is much mistaken." Though Newton and others had postulated that lightning was electrical in nature, and this belief was held as common in the scientific society, it had never been proven. By 1751, I was so encouraged with the response to my experiments in electricity that I proposed an experiment to prove that clouds containing lightning are, or are not, electrified. I suggested that an iron rod be raised on top of a high tower or steeple, some 20 to 30 feet in height, with a sharp point at one end and the other ending in a Leyden jar for the collection of the electric fire. When clouds containing lightning are forming low, we may see the rod drawing fire from the clouds. I saw little danger in the experiment, but for those concerned, I suggested that the observer hold a grounded wire by insulated handles. I concluded with, "Let the experiment be made." I was not the first to draw sparks from out of the sky, but it was my experiment. The first test of the experiment was done in France in May 1752, with the results much as I predicted. King Louis was so impressed, he ordered reports of the experiment sent throughout Europe and England. The test was conducted 4 more times in Europe without harm to the experimenter. However, in St. Petersburg, a Swedish scientist was fatally shocked while conducting the test. In June, before the news had reached America, I did not learn of the experiments in France until some months later, I conducted a variant of the experiment myself. I believed that the height of the tower needed exceeded anything available in Philadelphia. So I conceived of another method for reaching the heart of the storm. I built a kite of silk with a small iron rod attached. A hemp string ran from the kite to the ground, where an iron ring was tied to the string. To protect the kite flyer, a silk ribbon, to be kept dry, was tied to the end of the string. When the string was wet, it would conduct the electric fire well. Accompanied by my son William, we found a small shed in a lonely field from which to conduct the experiment. I was hesitant to be seen in a public place in case the experiment were a failure. With a promising storm approaching, I launched the kite, which soared toward the clouds. But nothing happened. I could not understand where I might have miscalculated. At length, as I was beginning to despair, I noticed a small thread on the string stand erect. I immediately touched my knuckle to the key, and the discovery was complete, for I observed a very evident electrical spark. When the report of my experiment was read by the Royal Society in England, They were so impressed that they voted me a member and awarded me its Copley Gold Medal for scientific achievement.